PsychicMyst Paranormal Network.
Hi, this is Shara with PsychicMyst, and today I want to share a scary true story with you. This chilling story combines 2 days that happened 3 months apart, but are tied into each other by one common factor. This story began over a half a century ago, but I'm just going to share a small snippet. The story is about me. I was born into an enigmatic paranormal paradox. Say that 3 times fast. As I live my life here, I'm also aware of the many other lives that I live other dimensionally since my single digits. I've also always been aware of other kinds of existences that I and other people that I meet used to live in or still do. I'm not just a paranormal researcher and psychic. I literally live a paranormal life. Okay, so with that little bit of information and background, the 2 days I want to share with you concern entities that have literally been with me since the time I was born. These beings are far from nice, and they're not quite like the beings that you might be thinking of. Some people may easily mistake them for demons, however, they are no such being. So let me start with the first day. My daughter and a good friend of mine, who are both part of PsychicMyst, got together to hold a spirit communication session, and we were doing that via seance and pendulum work. I've been conducting these kind of sessions for over 35 years. Everything was going really well for about 3 hours. We were nearing the end of the night, and it was approaching midnight of all times, when I felt a very, very cold spot to the right of me. The cold spot was directly next to me, and I could feel the entity there, but I knew it wasn't the spirit that we were communicating with. It had a very heavy, dark feeling to it. So now I have pink hair. So not even 30 seconds passed after I felt the cold spot that my daughter informed me that she saw something next to me, and my friend also said that she saw a dark mass hovering by my side. Just as I was about to tell the entity that it was not welcome and that it had to leave, I got a clairvoyant flash of a gargoyle. For those of you who don't know what a totem is, it's an animal or creature that acts as a close spirit guardian. So my totem just happens to be a gargoyle, and they carry some pretty dark and heavy energy, but that doesn't make them evil. It's just the kind of beings that they are. So I really didn't think anything of it after I saw the gargoyle, but then within a couple of seconds after that, this gargoyle type creature actually morphed into a very dark and sinister looking creature. What's even creepier is that this scary looking creature made an appearance in my ITC session. So check this out. So right after I saw this creature morph into a sinister being, we saw it traveling over to the wall where my parents' wedding picture is. My daughter had then told me that she didn't want to upset me, but she saw my mom's face and it looked like there was a bullet hole in her head and she could see the blood dripping down, which would be pretty disturbing, especially for a picture. So we finished up the spirit communication session, and as we were doing that, my friend got a message from the negative entity. It said that if she continued to help me with my work, that it would make her life a living hell. I knew that this was one of the entities that are around me all the time. They're always trying to stir up trouble for me one way or another, but my friend understood how this stuff works, and she just told them that they weren't welcome and she will not tolerate their behavior. And of course it left her alone. Over the years, I've learned how to keep these entities at bay, but they still manage to find loopholes to get through, and sometimes it's through other people. And this brings me to the second part of my story. I think I'm digging the pink hair. So for this part of the story, I have to introduce you to two people who are involved with this. The first is my husband, who me and him broke up many, many years ago, and a few years back he passed away, unfortunately. The next person is my niece, who me and her grew up together like sisters. We're only a year and a half apart, and she has a lot of her own psychic abilities. She has a lot of prophetic dreams. Now, the incident I'm going to tell you about, and the one that I just finished with my mom's wedding picture, happened about 3 months apart. My niece called me in the morning on the weekend and told me that she had this dream that really scared her, and she needed to call and make sure she told me about it, because when she has a dream like that, she's afraid that if she doesn't tell the person that the dream concerned, that it might come true, and she didn't want that to happen. So in my niece's dream, it was my birthday, and my whole family was downstairs waiting for me when there was a knock at the door. When they answered the door, they were surprised to see it was my deceased husband and one of his friends that he had when he was alive. So my niece asked him why he came, and he said that he was there because he had something important to tell me. So he came in, and they waited. Then my niece overheard him tell his friend that when I come downstairs, he wanted him to shoot me and kill me. I came downstairs, and apparently my husband handed his friend the gun and he shot me, and I died in my niece's dream. And then she woke up. She was really upset and decided to call me. At that point, I had a very strong feeling that it was the entities that are with me, and a lot of times they will try to go through someone I know closely to try to get to me. So being the paranormal researcher that I am, I decided to do an EVP session and see what I could find out. I ended up getting 9 EVPs, and a couple of them are real doozies. So I'm going to play them for you now. Enjoy. I want to know if you were in Linda's dream last night. I know you were in mine. That was you, right? I forgot to mention that my husband was in my dream the same night that my niece had her bad dream, and he wasn't being so nice. Did you want Chuck to kill me? Hitman Miss? I mean, how much more relevant could this EVP be? Are you in a bad place? What place are you in? Why am I in a bad place? Is Ron in hell? Is Ron's friend Chuck still alive? I wanted to say that I haven't seen Chuck in probably 15 or more years. I had no idea what he was doing, if he was alive or what. But I did find out that he was indeed alive. And what's even weirder is when he says hun. I mean, he used to talk to me like that all the time. So, they're mimicking him quite well. So who had been in Linda's dream? Anybody? If you listen closely, this EVP has kind of like a double voice, and you can hear it more toward the end of that. This is when I started to suspect that something just wasn't quite right, and that it was probably my not so friendly beings just trying to get to me again. especially where they said that the crime was switched, because of course my deceased husband couldn't kill me, so in the dream he had his friend do it. I'm on to you. I know what you're doing. I want to know who you are. Who am I talking to?
The image of a
BC, is that before Christ? That's pretty old. Can anyone tell me if they've seen a demon?
creature.
And if you notice in this one, it wasn't a demon, but a creature that they spoke of. They are definitely not demons, but they are very evil, malevolent beings. I just thought you might enjoy these EVPs in this story. It's quite interesting. It has a really long, complicated background to it, and that's why I just wanted to share this little bit with you. But I hope you enjoyed it. This is Shara with PsychicMyst. Have a paranormal night.